Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me for Try It Out Tuesday. This is the All For You die set from Concord 9th. I love big letter dies because they make a great focal point and sentiment all in one. This has a few secondary scripty sentiments like thanks, miss, for, and celebrate. So you can create lots of different kind of cards. We're going to go for a thank you card today. So I have my thank and my you and a pack of authentic pattern paper. I have had this for a while. I think I got this over at Hobby Lobby. If I can find it, I'll list it. But I'm looking for basically a stripe paper to die cut out my U. If there's vertical stripes, I can tilt my U on my pattern paper and create diagonal, but I think I found one that was actually diagonal. So we're going to use this on our project. I'm going to go ahead and trim down my pattern paper. This is going to make it easy for me to put it through the die cutting machine, and we're going to do our die cutting all at once. So I have some gray cardstock. It's darker gray. It's actually Concord 9th's mushroom cardstock. I have some Altenew adhesive sheets. I just trimmed down a size that would fit behind that cardstock. We're going to adhere it, and after we have we're basically creating a sticker. This way it's easier to layer all of our thanks together. We're going to die cut out 3 thanks and layer them together for a little bit of dimension. Now this last thank that I die cut out, the adhesive sheet stuck to my cardstock, but that kind of is a good happy accident. I kind of like when that happens because I can go ahead and take another one of my thank dies and just line it up while it's in the die cut, and it keeps its shape basically. So I don't mind when this happens. This second thank has release paper behind it. My third thank does not have the release paper stuck to the panel you can see in the back. So I'm going to use my craft tool and just punch out my thank, and then we're going to just add our third layer right on top. But it's nice because like I said, it does keep its shape. We'll go ahead and add that. Now I went ahead and die cut out one more U with white cardstock. The pattern paper I'm using is a nice weight, but I am going to pop this up, and it is pretty large, so I thought we'd add a little bit of stability by die cutting out some white cardstock and just layering them together. And I am offsetting the pattern paper against the white. This way there's a little highlight of white cardstock. We're going to add foam adhesive behind all the letters and do the same thing with each of these. So our U is good to go, and so is our thank. We're going to work on our background next. We'll set this up in the corner, and we're going to use some border dies for our background. I thought we'd completely fill our background with the borders. So break out your grassy border, your hillside border, a wave border, and a cloud border. We're going to die cut out 2 different sets on some A2 size panels with our grassy border first, our hillside next, and our wave. And then we'll add our cloud at the very top. We're going to do 2 because I want to double up on my clouds and my grass, and I'm going to add an extra hillside to our project. So these are all die cut out with white cardstock. I do want to color them in. To do that, I want to break out my Distress Oxide inks. We're going to take both of our grassy borders and we're going to ink them up with some bundled sage Distress Oxide ink. And I'm just slightly going the very top of the blades of the grass. Since our clouds are going to be at the very top, we're leaving those white. I do want to leave a little bit of white border on the very bottom. So I'm just basically inking up the very top of our grass. I thought it would look a little more balanced if we had a little more white on the bottom of our grassy area. Now to add a little dimension, we're going to bring in a slightly darker Distress Oxide ink. This is Forest Moss. And I'm just going over a few little areas on the grassy area. This way we have 2 tones and it looks really nice when you layer them together. Next we're going to do our little hillside. We're adding antique linen first, and I'm doing the same thing. I want some white highlight underneath the hill. I think it's just going to look really nice. I might go back and color in the whole hillside, we'll see. I am going to add a little bit of shading right over the edge or cut line with brushed corduroy. So we have two tones here. Now I have one more hillside border here, but we're not going to create a hill with this. I want to turn this into a mountain. So I have some warm gray ink. This is pumice stone. And I think pumice stone might be just a little too warm for my mountain. So we're going to switch it up. I'm going to scratch pumice stone and just bring in my hickory smoke. It's more of a bluey gray, and I think it's going to work better for my little mountain. You'll notice on my hillside I kind of tilted it so it was at a diagonal almost, and then my mountain I just went horizontal, just straight across. Now once I have my hickory smoke added to my mountain, we are good to go with this one. Now we're going to go ahead and create our little ocean waves. For this we're going to bring in tumbled glass. I'll go ahead and wipe off my craft mat here and grab our little wave piece. We're going to tuck all of these, so you could fit them like a puzzle, but if you want to add some extra pieces like I'm adding the mountain, you're going to need to layer them together. This way they all fit on our card. Now after I had tumbled glass added to my waves, I did darken it up in a few areas with stormy sky. So this has a two-tone look also. Now we have our two clouds left, and then we have an extra piece between our wave here and our cloud. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of blue, just what's ever left on my blending brush, to the cloud section going down. This way when we add our white cloud, you have that little shadow of blue. I think it's going to look really nice. Now I do want to add a little whimsical look to my card, so I have a sun that I'm using from the Spellbinders Sun and Clouds die set. This doesn't die cut out the center of it has a circle embossed detail in the center of the sun, but it doesn't have that circle. So I went through my circle dies and die cut out a circle that would fit on the inside of my sun. I'm going to go ahead and add some yellow and orangey yellow to my little sunshine and my circle here. I'm using squeezed lemonade and then wild honey. Now before we put our craft mat away, I'm going to go ahead and grab a foam square and layer our cloud together. We'll just put this in the middle, remove the release paper, and add our circle right on top. And then our cloud is good to go. I think this is going to look really nice with the background. Okay, cloud's good. Now we're going to bring in our card base and do our background scene. We're going to layer both of our grasses together. We have a long one, kind of a longer piece, and a shorter piece. The shorter piece will go in the front, and then we'll just use our tape runner and adhere them both together. I'm not going to add any dimension behind our background because I think it would be too much. But you can see how they layer together. You could layer them together like this, but you won't be able to fit in your mountain piece. So grassies are adhered, and you know what, when I added adhesive, I went to the very bottom, the straight line edge, because I'm going to be doing tucking, and so you want to keep the grassy blades open. And I just continued on. First the grass, second our hillside, third is our waves, fourth is our gray mountain, and then fifth is our clouds. I do have a little excess overhanging. We're going to trim this off, and then I do have one of the cloud borders left over, so we're going to adhere that just to the very top portion of the clouds. And I think this is a great background for any kind of scene, any kind of critter, any kind of scene, and I just love the way this looks. This the die set that I'm using is actually has an image pretty close to this, and I like the look of this. I just love the softness of it. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and grab our thank you. And when I added my thank you, I thought the colors were too similar, and it just kind of blended together. So we're going to do a redo with our pattern paper. I found some teal colored polka dots. We're going to die cut out our pattern paper with a polka dot background. I think it's going to stand out a little bit more, and a little bit more than the stripes. The stripes just kind of blended too well together. And I think this is going to work out a little bit more whimsical too with the polka dots. Okay, I'm going to carefully remove my pattern paper. Good thing we put it on some white cardstock because it was easy to remove. Now, if you have a tape runner that's, when it sticks for good, you might have to do a little bit of die cut surgery or redo the die cut white die cut U's. But I just removed my diagonal stripe U's, and I'm going to go ahead and replace it with my polka dots. I'm not going to offset this one this time. I'm just going to go ahead and place them directly on the top. Since we already added foam tape behind it, I'm going to start off with the O, center it on my background panel, tucking it underneath our grassy area, and then we can add our Y and our U once it's centered. I think that looks so fun, and I'm happy we changed to polka dots. Now I'm going to do a little tucking with my sun, and then also remove the release paper off of my thank. This is going to go a little bit to the left of our U. And I thought we would add a secondary sentiment, so I'm bringing in a sentiment strip that I just trimmed out. This one actually says, "Your kindness is appreciated." I just used my paper trimmer to trim it out. I'm going to add some foam tape behind it. And then this is going to go right under, excuse me, right under the thank. Now, to make it even a little more whimsical, we're breaking out our little googly eyes. Googly eyes just make sunshines happy, and so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to use 2 different sizes of googly eyes for the eyes. So one, they're just going to be wonky, a larger one and a smaller one. We're going to adhere those to our sunshine. And these have adhesive back, which is a little bit difficult to get off. I got these on Amazon. If they still have them, I'll list them below. I don't think I'll ever run out of these. But now we need a happy face. So I'm bringing in my Memento marker, and I'm just going to create a half smile happy face. And I think that looks perfect. I'm not going to add anything else. That's my card for Try It Out Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I wish you a lovely day, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.